When you look at the role of a CEO in an organization, I fundamentally believe that the three most important things the CEO can do is number one, they got to set the right direction. Really saying what is the strategy, what is the direction of the company, what are the products and services the company is going to sell to its customers. If you figure that out, number two, the CEO's job is to figure out how to make those services and products profitable. And number three, which I think is the most important thing, is hiring team. The CEO should be responsible until there's at least 300 people in the company. The CEO should actually interview every single person in the company and get to know them deeply so that they can really evaluate what type of culture you're trying to build in the company. One of the things you learn very quickly in venture capital is that the first literally 20 people that you hire in an organization, they set the tempo of the culture of the company. Is it going to be a collaborative place? Is it going to be a place of competition? Is it going to be a place that puts an emphasis on product or service, or is it a place that puts emphasis on people? There's a lot of good ways that culture could go, and a lot of bad ways that culture could go too. But the question is figuring out which way you wanted to go with hiring the right people. Now, when I look at hiring people, especially when we're looking at our portfolio companies, there's a couple of things I really care about. Number one, are they honest? Because if they're not honest, good people, every other trait that they might have totally just doesn't matter. So if they don't have honesty within them, it doesn't matter. We're not going to hire them. So that's the first thing we look for. And the way we judge that is we call references, we look at their background, we look at, what they said in the interview. We really look for keys for people who are very honest with themselves and honest with other people about who they are and what they believe in. That's a very important trait, and also very honest about their accomplishments and their failures in their careers. Number two, we like people who are very hardworking. There's something, I like people who have a strong motor. And what I mean by that is people who actually will go out there and just bust their butts to accomplish something just because they have that innate drive. They don't need to be motivated. They don't need to be coached. They don't need to be yelled at or, given a pat on the back. They just have a drive that once you set them in a direction, they really want to accomplish that objective. And so I think, honesty and hard work are the first two things I really care about. The third thing I care about is what I would call sheer horsepower intelligence. Now, there are a lot of people who are smart and know a lot of stuff, but what I mean by intelligence is that can these people pick up and learn, things quickly or look at things that they've never seen before and understand how to solve them? In a startup, this is very vital because a lot of times a startup is building a product or a service that's never been built before. And therefore, you're just going to have a challenge of, figuring things out on the fly of something that's never been done before. So I look for people who are really smart, who have that ability to, you know, solve problems that have never been thought of before. And that really comes down to intelligence. And obviously, there's various ways you can look at that. You could look at their degrees that they have. You could look at what types of degrees they have, what schools they went to, how they analyze and look at problems. The other thing we look for very much is what I would call experience. Now, the great thing about it, experience is the fourth thing we care about. It's not the first, second, or third. And what I mean by experiences is that do they have a relevant set of experiences that would allow them to hit the ground running when they join the organization? That's an important thing for us, and especially the role that they're being hired for. And then finally, the fifth thing we care about is do they have leadership potential? And, leadership is a word that's, I think, thrown out a little bit too much today. But what we look for is leadership from the standpoint of can they motivate other people around them to be better? And it doesn't mean that you actually have to be in a leadership position, but you have to be in uh, a place where you can lead from. Some of the best leaders I've seen in organizations are not people who've had a title of a CXO level title, but people who might be in the middle of the organization who've done a really good job of rallying everyone around them, their colleagues, their subordinates, their superiors to accomplish a particular objective. So we really look for people who have the ability to motivate other people. There's nothing better than having someone in your organization who has the ability to make other people better. And I think that is a contagious attitude. And I really look for hiring people that have that capability. And, I think a better word I would use than, leadership is just people who are motivators, people who just innately motivate others to want to be better and better. So those are the five traits we look for when looking at hiring people. Number one, are they honest? Number two, uh, do they have a great work ethic? Number three, do they have intelligence that could solve new problems that have never been shown before to other people? Number four, do they have experiences that make them relevant and for the role? And number five, leadership and the ability to motivate others to accomplish objectives. So when we look at hiring people, those are the five things that we look at, and I think you'll find that in most other organizations, those are pretty close to what other attributes people look for.